Put your feet together like on a corner. Go ahead. And then turn your left foot out just a little. Go 3 foot lengths in front. 1, 2, 3. See how unstable you are? Go up, down.
Yes.
Now go over the width of your shoulder to the side. Okay, now bend your front knee. Hip to the side. Front. So you do that back and forth. And not just like this. But
Do you want their back foot to be straight or on an angle?
a little bit.
A little bit to the side.
Front foot should point in. So if your opponent is right here, both feet should be sort of pointing like towards his front knee. Let's see, just back. Ah, okay. This is a common issue. Go turn back again. Okay, so when he turns his hips 45 degrees to the back, he's caving his front knee and he's straightening it. Keep that knee in the same spot. And your front knee should be right over your toes. So this part of your leg is actually facing forward. Front knee's not bent enough. There you go. This is it. Bend your front knee more. Oh, this is very good. Really good stance. Really good length and width. This should be longer. Move your hip more. Not your upper body a lot. Well, your upper body actually, shoulders straight to the front, and then to the 45. Don't cave your front knee and bend your front knee more. Stay in this stance. Yes, it gets tiring. Why? Because your muscles aren't used to it. You have to load your muscles so that you can perform at maximum. Because you're starting to learn emergency moves, urgent moves, and they have to be effective. Otherwise, why do it? So this is how you get the muscles to do the techniques with maximum power, maximum speed. Okay. If your knee is like this, you have to kind of move forward slowly in order to move forward. This is slow. But if you're already here, then you're pushing. You're pushing. Okay, now change your side back to where you were. On a corner, both feet together, heels and toes together. Now we're going to do the left side forward, right? So right leg a little bit out. And then 1 foot length. 2, 3, and then width of your shoulders forward. So for me, it's a little over one of these squares. That's a good stance for me. And then the knee has to be forward so that you move, so you can push. Otherwise, you have to push from the back leg first. If your knee is back, you have to push with your back leg first, and this one, and you still haven't moved. But you've told your opponent that you're moving. So the first thing that your opponent should see when you're moving forward is you moving forward, not making a move to move forward. So let's see, bend your front knees.
Certainly.
Hand on your hip.
Is my leg straight parallel? Is it just over?
Pointing a little bit forward. Pointing a little bit forward. So the knee, if you drop a plumb line, goes right to your toe. This way, you can pull to move forward.
Mm.
And you got a baby front knee. Pretty good. Then a little bit more. Not bad. Nice movement. Oh, a nice movement here. Very good. But don't turn your head. Your opponent's right in front of you.
Is it back lines or is it straight?
Oh, good question. Is the back leg bent or straight? A little bend. Little bend. 85-degree angle. No. 170-degree angle. Your hands on your hips. Hands up, keep your front knee. Your opponent's right here. You want both knees kind of going into your opponent. This is where your energy, this is where you want your energy to move efficiently. Okay, and stop. Here, breathe. Okay. Now, I already know where my stance needs to be. It's about right here. I've got my front foot pointing a little inward. Now, how much inward? Inward so much that the outside edge of your foot is pointing straight ahead or maybe slightly inward. Okay, get in the stance. Okay. Rising block. And my belt knot is facing 45 degrees. And then reverse punch. Kind of pull with your front leg towards it. And then lock everything in. And then rising block. And rising block. Again. Rising block. And in. One, rising block. Two. One. Two. One. Two. One. Two. One. Two. One. Two. Belt knot 45 and then straight ahead. One. Two. 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 One. All the way back. All the way. You gotta use your dorsal oblique muscles to pull it way back and elbow in, not out, and not halfway. Two. One. Two. One. Oh, your block is ineffective because you're blocking from here. So you have to come under something that's coming at you and push up, not this way. You might miss it. You might punch it that way, but you also might miss it. Right? Two. One. Better. Two. One. Two. Hips gotta go back and forth, back and forth. One. Two. Hips back and forth. One. Two. One. Two. One. Two. One. Two. One. Two. One. 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and yummy. 3. Other side. That's ready. Look where your foot is supposed to go. Right, for me, it's right there. Remember where your foot goes?
This was
You don't step it out. 3. Okay, step out and rising block. Not yet. I want to see. Back. Ready. No. And reverse punch 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. Oh, bend that for me. 1, 2. Nice. 1, 2. Let's see more snap. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Bend. 1, 2. You should be uncomfortable in this. You should be tired at the end of this exercise. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Keep your knee in one spot. The front foot is a little too big. 1, 2. 1, 2. Let's see the shoulders down. 1, 2. 1. Way back. There you go. See how much farther back? 1. Or, sorry, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Your hips should be going back and forth. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Yummy. You stop. Okay, breathe. Next, riding horse stance. For this one, you get in the corner, your heels in the corner. Actually, I have mine right in the corner. It's probably not best to be right in the corner, but you know, as a reference point. Now, toes out and heels out, and your toes should be coming in. Right? Toes out, heels out, and down. Bend your knees. Now let's see. From here. Protect your face and elbow strike. Try it. Protect your face and elbow strike. Protect your face, and then the other fist comes ready for the elbow strike. Elbow strike. Protect your face. Elbow strike. Other side. Do the whole technique. Window side, go. Flag side, go. Right there. Window side, go. That'll be 1 and this will be 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1. 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Yeah. And yummy. Okay, so this. Tired? Oh, what do I think? What? Oh, okay. So you should be, this is tough on your legs. You need to do this. I had a friend who studied Tai Chi. He was very good at Tai Chi. Oh, man. He got a job as a bouncer in a bar, a college bar. And he did not like that job because he just like eschews violence. But sometimes it calls for violence. And he would very skillfully escort people out the door. Any energy that they directed towards him in order to hurt him, he would redirect it, and they'd be out the door and with some instructions like "Don't come back until you're sober" or something. If they had too many adult beverages or just misbehaving in general. And a couple nights he stayed at my house, my apartment. And in the morning, he had the habit of getting up, and one of the first things that he did was stand in a short, what I would call a short horse riding stance. I forget what stance he called it. It was a Chinese name. Get like this, and then he'd get his hands just like this, and he would have his kind of mind kind of act like it's floating along into infinity. Just keeps going, keeps going, and he would stay in the stance. And I saw him do it. I couldn't believe it. 20 minutes, and he at 20 minutes he finally like sank into it, like everything, just all of his joints just kind of sank together, and he got even lower, and he was there for another 40 minutes. And I couldn't believe it. I could last just a couple of minutes. And but once I saw him do it, then I said, well, yeah, I can do it. And his stance was very strong. It was very difficult to move it. People tried moving him, they couldn't move. So you need to practice this, because having that kind of a stance while you're doing a technique, it adds so much more power to your technique. And you don't want to do anything that's of no use, right?
Yes.
So you're practicing like this. When somebody comes with a big punch, how are you going to stop it? You haven't developed the muscles to do it, and maybe your opponent has. Okay, so practice this. Practice this. And at about 10 minutes, his legs were shaking, and then at 20 minutes, they're like just kind of starting to stop shaking, starting to stop shaking. And then at 20 minutes, he just kind of sank down, and he could have stayed there all day. Because he's trained his muscles, for one thing, to know, that has muscle knowledge, to know how to stand there strongly. So he trained his brain to tell his muscles knew. It takes a while, like, you'll see yourselves in a mirror doing technique, and you say, oh, I didn't know I was doing it that way. I didn't know I was jerking my head every time, or going, some other movement. I thought I was doing that. You have to train your brain to tell your muscles how to do the technique right. And the way to do that is repetition. Repeat the technique over and over. And your mind is trying to help you. So it learns, hey, how do I tell the muscles to do this strongly, quickly, and efficiently? Because we're getting tired. So your brain learns to tell your muscles to avoid fatigue. You have to practice this.
Yes.
Okay, what do you have to do?
Practice.
Yeah, okay. Everybody gets that. Now, all you have to do is do it. You know what you need to do.
Yes.
Now you just have to do it. Okay, Kibidachi again. Kibidachi is horse riding stance. Toes out. Heels. Toes. Heels. Bend your knees. Your knees should be kind of out, like riding on the back of a horse, right? Horse's back is wide. It should be wide. Okay, first, we're going to pull over in this direction and reverse punch. This. Then, and keep your heels in the same spot. Then, 2 punches. Then, rotate your foot out to do a punch 45-degree angle. And then back. And then turn. And each time you're pulling with your front leg. So my front leg is this one. I'm pulling, I'm not pushing with this one. I'm pulling, reverse punch. Go. Then now this is my front leg. I'm pulling myself this way. Punch, punch. And then I'm going to pull with this heel and punch. Just 1 punch. Okay, center. 1. To the right. 2. Just 1. This. And then, remember, bend your front. Center, pull. 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 And pull again. Okay, so center, 1, 2. To the left, 1. More bend front knee. Oh, straight front knee.
So tight. When I go to the corner, are both feet going to turn or just one foot?
Pretty much just 1. So let's try just 1. See how that goes. This. Center, 1. 2. 1. 2. Front knee. You got to pull with that leg. Now pulling with that leg. 1. Pulling with the same leg. 2. Whatever direction you're going, you pull with that leg. Don't push with the leg that you want to push from this one. Pull with this one. 1. Bam, bam. 2. 1. 2. Remember you actually have to move your hip in center, this direction. So your hip, center of gravity, center. It moves. You can't stay in one spot. Okay?
Do you want us to punch as we pick or get to the position?
Oh, that's a really good question. So your punch should arrive right when you lock your stance in. See how that works. If you need further explanation, try. 2. 1. More bend, more bend. Oh, see how much you can move that center of gravity? Bend that front knee. Pull with it. Now your front leg is going to be on the window side. You pull with that leg. 2. And your knees. And toes in. 45 degrees this way. 1. Oh, not all the way to the window, like to the corner. 45 degrees. So you've got your center of gravity right over that spot. You should be punching in this direction, from corner to corner. 2. 1. 2. Bend your knees. You've got to exercise these muscles. It's got to be tiring. Afterwards, you should be just sweating bullets and just like going, I'm so glad I made it through that exercise. That's what you have to do. You must.
Us.
Bend your knees. Don't get out of the stance. Stay there. 1. See, when there's nobody in front of you, you can have a straight elbow. 2. Toes in. Everybody self-corrects. Like it. 1, 2, 1. You've got to move. You've got to move your center of gravity. Almost like together. 2, 1. You didn't move your center of gravity. Move yourself. Move your torso. Your center of gravity. Your axis. Move it. Lean in. 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. You've got to bend your knees. 2. Bend. Stay down. 1, 2. 1. Reverse 1. Very nice hip turn. But don't lean in. Get your center of gravity there. Axis straight up. 2. Bend your knees. 1, 2. And yame. Where it is. Stop. Rest. Okay. Partners face each other. And let's see. This is the attacking side. And defenders. Okay. So attacking side, get your distance to the defenders. So go ahead. And which is arm's length away, right? And standing at relaxed stance.
No. Straight.
Okay. That's your attacking distance. And defenders just have one hand at the side of your head, a little in front. So attackers back up that much. And put this hand outside. Okay, so defenders, you put one leg back. It doesn't matter which, but if you have your hand this way, he's going to be hitting this hand. So, what we're going to do on this exercise is protect your ribs and back fist strike. Let's protect your ribs and then pull back at the same time. So, do you get it? Have you done this technique?
Which part of your hand do you want me to hit with that?
These 2 knuckles you hit
The back.
so reject it. It's called back fist strike. Back of the fist. Yes.
What's this?
Oh, so it'll be Zenkutsu Daichi, which is front stance. And it'll be like this. And then get back. Try not to hit your partner's hand, but get as close as you can with the technique. Okay? Okay, so who's the attackers? Right. So you just have your hand up. Stand there. Okay, there's the target. Try to get as close as you can with a back fist strike. Okay, you're just going to be in a regular, relaxed stance like this. And then have your hand in front of your face and to the side. Okay, so you got it. And then she's got her hand there like that. So in a sense like this.
You don't want them to touch.
Try not to touch the hand.
He's gonna step back.
Try not to touch the target. Let's see how fast you can get. Start off slow. Learn the technique. Let's see how fast you can get and see how close you can get to the hand as a target without actually touching it. Okay, try. On your own.
No step, just hand.
Right.
Two hands. Two hands.
Yeah, pull back.
Two hands. Two hands. That's it. Let it come back.
Nice. Pull all the way back. Pull all the way back. Like, you get yourself in the chest on the, like snapping the towel. But we never snap a towel at somebody, do we?
Listen.
That'll be something you never do in your life. Once you start learning karate, and I have a different definition of karate than you do. To me, you're not learning karate, you're preparing your bodies to learn karate. So once you start learning karate, you cannot engage in behaviors like that.
Don't move from this top.
Listen. I talk too much. I'm catchy.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, do like her head height.
This is almost gonna hit
Her head height is there, right?
So I kind of like.
Do
But
your
that hand's
opponent's
gotta
head.
This hand has to move.
That hand.
You're
Pull, two
real-
hands.
real target.
Yeah, you
Don't
put your hand-
fight.
put your
Don't-
hand right-
Don't
So
talk.
make the side.
Don't talk.
Good.
Yeah, you move back. You said you get in your
Come on.
position.
There you go. Two hand. Go slow at first. Go slow at first. Get
If
your
you're having
head.
trouble with this, imagine snapping a towel. Not at somebody, but just snapping it just to get the motion.
Then your knees though, no power. Get your foundation. Get into your stance. Hey, don't lock it out, Judah. Bring it back. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Just imagine you're snapping a towel, but not at somebody. Never.
Let it go.
Do y'all know the very first supersonic tool that humans invented? A whip. The crack of the whip, right at the end, that's where the end of the whip is breaking the sound barrier. It's moving faster than sound. So that's why you hear a snap. It's the first supersonic tool. Change your side. Yeah, change opponent. I mean, change attacker, sorry.
Okay. This.
And then we'll do the other side for the other attacker. Okay. Watch the orientation of your hip. Make sure it's not off axis, always straight up and down.
Two hand.
Okay, you can begin. Start off slow. Change your leg.
If you're too close, let it go.
Protect your ribs, and then pull back.
Move back if you're where
Yes, yes. And hit the back of your fist. Yes, right at the end, you turn it.
You just say where it is, you're good. Yeah, this is that, get closer, you can help me do it. You're like, what? Now, all right.
Don't hit.
Well, no, no, he's not, but now you know what it takes to count it. Two hands, two hands, two hands, two hands. Yeah. And watch your foundation, make sure your stance is correct. The power is gonna come from your hips, not just from your
Try
arm.
not to touch the hand.
Two hands.
Yeah. Oh, remember her head height. Her head height.
Good as a spot. Reject this one. Yeah, it's kind of like it, right? So, are there hips, sir? Are there hips going? Oh, are they doing it?
Basically no hip.
No hip.
Basically no hip.
No hip.
Basically no hip. That's a really interesting question. I used to only do the technique. You can face this way just for a second.
Yes.
I used to only do the technique from hip back, and I, go over. But a lot of our techniques are hip going back while you're doing it. If you're like here, you actually go hip back. So in this exercise, no hip. You'll actually, in reality, you'll either be going hip in or hip back when you're doing this as a practical exercise. Depending on what your body position is at the time. If your hips are forward, you'll do hip back. If your hips are to the side, you'll be doing hip forward. It's easier to do this. Hip in than hip back. It's easier. And I've seen a lot of in especially like the Taekwondo and Kyokushinkai, which that's what the statue is, by the way. Kyokushinkai. I was I have rank in Kyokushinkai. The like rising block drills, and it's very similar to Taekwondo. And when I first started studying Mo Duck Kwan, and the Kyokushinkai instructor, I was helpful. I mean, I was like instrumental in him becoming Kyokushinkai. He was Jido Kwan, one of the Kwans. Jido Kwan, Mo Duck Kwan. There's like 4 or 5 major Kwans.
Korean?
Yes. They all got together and said, like, okay, we're all so similar. Let's just make it one thing, and they called it Taekwondo. But in Taekwondo and Jiu-Jitsu, Kyokushinkai, they like go like this. So the hip is always going into the technique, and then on the knife hand block and knife hand strike too, way over. But to my way of thinking in karate, I don't want to go through the same real estate twice. What does that mean? Real estate is area, right? So if I'm doing a rising block, I don't want to go past where my hips are going to end up and then make them go back again. It's too slow. So just kind of, you're here, not 45 degrees, and it's still 45 degrees, and then turn. But the taekwondo and Kyokushinkai, it's turn it all the way over and then turn it back in. So you'll do these strikes, which are all 45-degree angle, belt knot to my direction of force applied, and my hip is 45 degrees. They're all like this, blocks, pretty much all like that. And also in the Korean influenced Kyokushinkai, Korean influence, a lot of them don't even use their hips for it. So that's a little lesson on the hips. Okay. Get back in your original spots and face the front. Oh, bow to each other, sorry. Okay, and face the front. And about here. Good. And Sursama.
So when they bow, do they look at you or they do not look at you?
That's a great question. I love that question. The Korean influenced arts, they don't trust each other. This is my explanation for the thing. So they go like this, and then like if you want to shake one of these older Korean instructors, they'll shake like this, protecting their ribs because they're exposing a weakness and they want to protect it. The Japanese influenced, your eyes go the same as your head. And the reason, remember, this is my explanation. It's my opinion. The reason they do this is because they, above all, wanted, maybe not the modern way of thinking, but the reason behind the bow and how it's done, is they want to die with honor. And if they are honoring you and you do a dishonorable thing and chop their head off while they're bowing their head, they're actually offering their head to you. They're telling you, hey, I know that you won't do a dishonorable thing, and so I'm honoring you by doing this. And it's always lower rank bows first and then higher rank second. How do you know? Well, somehow we just know. Like, for example, this is Sursama's place. So it doesn't matter who comes in here. He's top. This is his place. You have to honor this place and honor him. And it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter who comes here. He's the top, and everyone bows to him first. And then, like, he could just kind of go like, and that would tell you something. It's like, okay, bye-bye. But anyway, that's the whole thing about the bowing.
All right. Can we have a nice round of applause? I learned much today. Yes.